Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and today I'm going to play a little bit of a meme army. I'm going to use my rocket troops here. This used to actually be a build when the game was first released before the tower changed, but I figure I'll play around with it a little bit here because it tends to piss off newer players. So I don't think I've played this guy before. But anyways, I'm going to be playing as Tau versus the Necrons. It's a 100-point target with strategic command, unlimited turns. So I figured that will give me time to recharge my rocket attacks to potentially be able to annoy the Necron forces here. So we'll kind of set ourselves up in 3 different strike forces to get the maximum amount of shots going here. But I will have 2 commanders here to try to buff and flame, 2 cadres, 2 broadsides, 3 crisis suits, all with the flamers, and then 2 strike teams, one with the pulse rifle and one with the carbine, just because I didn't have enough points. So how this build typically works is you'll use your strike teams to use their marker lights, and that will guarantee a 100% chance to hit with the broadsides missile attack. And then what you want to do is try to rush the sides with your crisis suits, and then they should be able to just launch their missile pods without much issues here, and then you can just shoot into the center. Now if this is a very easy build to counter nowadays, because all you have to do is bring lots of infantry, and I just won't have the amount of killing power to kill everybody. But the hope is that if he does have a lot of the infantry build, that I will have double or triple flamers with my crisis suits, that I should be able to take out the weaker tier units. So we can see he's got an annihilation barge and some tomb blades here. Now the chance to hit there was low because I used my jetpacks already, but I was able to counteract a little bit with the passive ability with the
ready for orders.
Whatchamacallit, the commander there. Now I do have a 2/3 chance to hit here, but I think because we're doing unlimited terms, I'm just going to spam our ability here. And ideally I should have had my commander be a little bit closer, because that would have given me additional bonus damage. But because I didn't really expect to see a annihilation barge this early, I wasn't really expecting to drop this damage down. But that would have given me almost an extra 20% damage. Now he is out of range for the rocket pod, so I'm not going to be able to kill him this turn. But it's like, alright, before he can even see me, I've already almost dropped one of his units here, so we'll see. Because we can just use those cadres to guarantee 100% attacks every 3 turns. And then we can use our cadres to increase the amount of attacks we have as well by 20%. Now obviously with that railgun only having a single attack, that buff doesn't do anything for the broadsides. Alright, so he's got some flayed ones. Those actually could be a little bit difficult because they can teleport all over the place, but they're very weak to flamers, so if he does try to dimensional gate and engage us, we should be able to drop him. Alright, looks like he's doing Locust Heavy Destroyers. That's going to be probably one of our biggest problems here, because they're not going to be very weak to flamers.
More targets will soon be in range.
So we're going to have to do some hit and run tactics, but we should be able to successfully facilitate that. Alright, if he wants to bring multiple tomb blades over there. Alright, so he's got another annihilation barge. Ooh, he's got a Plasmamancer. That's actually probably the best Necron unit against us, because he's going to be... Ooh, shit, he's got another Locust Heavy Destroyer up there too. Alright, so he's actually has a pretty good force against us here. Yeah, he just has a bunch of weak tier infantry there. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, we need to make sure we don't glob up or that Plasmamancer's going to nuke us. But even if we don't, we're going to have issues with him using his dimensional blade on us.
I serve the great.
Alright, so he's got his units here. Honestly, I think we can probably just kill these tomb blades. Yep. And then, depending on how much killing we're able to do here...
They deny the way of the tower. Kill them all.
we might be able to just aggro him to overextend, and if he doesn't, we might just be able to jump in.
Armored support ready.
And then if we just surround those Locust Heavy Destroyers at close range, I think we could nullify him, assuming we can get in there close enough. Now, he left his Annihilation Barge out in the open. If I jump over here, Double Flame should just about kill those Tomb Blades.
Yes.
Which would be good. And then one of you could jump up here too. We're a little out of range. I was kind of hoping I was going to be able to get back there and get to that point. So I'm going to jump you up to here because I want to know. Alright, so he pulled the Plasma Bancer way back, so I'm not going to be able to land attacks onto him. Because I'm pretty sure the marker lights are blocked by elevation, right? Because I think it's actually what they can shoot is what they can actually show. Is how I remember this working. Yeah, so that is how it works. That's unfortunate. So, I guess that means we'll just use our marker light probably on the Annihilation Barge here. And then we can use the Guaranteed Missile Strike. I mean, while I'd like to do the Guaranteed Missile Strike against the Plasmamancer, now that he's our biggest threat, if he is going to engage me in melee, he should be close to the edge, and then hopefully I can just shoot these guys
As you command.
Taking fire.
from the side. Now, I could do the missiles, but I don't know if it's going to be 22 to 30 per, or if that's total.
To the front line.
Honestly, I bet with a 100% chance to hit here, my two cadres could probably just get the kill. Yeah, because that's going to be 32.
Photon shields active.
Alright, yeah, so 36. 33.
Ready for orders.
Taking fire.
Nice. Alright, so Annihilation Barge 1 is down. Let's jump you over to here. And then you'll be partially in cover against those Locust Heavy Destroyers. Let's flame here. Flame again.
Kill them all.
Ah, we're just short. Alright.
Open fire.
Well, let's flame here. And then I guess we're going to have you attack here. Oh, you missed. Alright, I was expecting you to get the kill. Oh, I hate to waste your rocket launcher on this guy, but I also don't want those Tomb Blades attacking me. I could jump you up in flame, but then that's just going to put everybody close together for getting shot. So let's do something like this, and we'll just have you body block, make sure he doesn't backcap me. Oh, you had an attack. You could have just killed those Tomb Blades. Shit. I forgot that you only shot once.
Calculating firing solutions.
Alright, well, let's start weakening some of these guys, I guess. I could squad wipe one, or I could just weaken down two. Let's weaken down two. Looks like he's still got he's got an Overlord back there as well.
Artillery standing by. Repositioning. How can I assist?
And I'm pretty sure the bonus attacks don't affect the missile pods.
For Viola.
So we'll keep you back here.
As you command.
Orders confirmed.
You're over here.
Armored support ready.
And hopefully we can just drop this Plasmamancer if he decides he wants to melee us. He could also just drop a nuke on us and kill our commander here. We'll put you at an angle. Hopefully that'll keep you at some protection and partial cover against those Locust Heavy Destroyers.
Calculating firing solutions.
Yeah, we probably want to save your marker lights. Alright, one's back up.
Yes.
Strike team, ready.
Alright, 20 out of 20, and my opponent ended up rage quitting. So, that actually happens pretty frequently on this matchup. I debated about whether I should even post this video or not, but I thought it was always kind of fun to bring back one of the builds from the old times. I do think it can be viable when you're playing an unlimited turn limit, because effectively what you want to do is capture enough points that you can drag the match out, but not overextend yourself so much that you're going to get you guys killed. So I had, you know, 3 different units that I kind of jumped forward, so the following turn I likely would have ended up losing my commander and those crisis suits, but then hopefully I could have sniped down the Plasmamancer. My flamers would allow me to take out any scarabs that he's summoning in here, and then his other low tier infantry should be pretty easy to mop up, and then we should have been able to take out the other annihilation barge, because pretty much it was one shot away from getting killed, and then we could focus on sniping out the Necron Lord. So even if he was attacking our broadsides, you know, they still actually have a pretty good melee attack, and so when he would have landed the attacks, I would have got the opportunity to counter. And then the big thing is just keeping those guys away from each other so they don't get locked down together if one of his elite tier units wants to get you into melee, and just always making sure your rear is not exposed so those flayed ones can't get behind you and start attacking you, because that can be a problem. So you want to kind of keep your guys close enough together that you're within a couple squares. That way you can nullify the dimensional gate, because that needs to be at least 1 square away from an enemy unit to be able to warp in. And so you can nullify massive amounts of areas depending on checkerboard, if you checkerboard your guys across the field, and then it'll make them not able to warp right next to you and get a bunch of attacks, and you can use that to help force the enemy into unusual positions. And you'll have 3 rounds of attacks to maximize your rocket pods times 3 with the crisis suits, and then by then your opponent will be getting pretty frustrated at you, and they should keep pushing forward, and then you'll just start jumping your crisis suits into battle to start flaming down his infantry. And then every 3 turns you will be using your unlimited rocket pod attack with your broadsides there, and then obviously you only have 1 of your giant missile strikes there, which is the equivalent of your tier 1 attack ability. But by the time you're landing those other attacks, you should start getting enough command points up that you can start using the command point missile strike abilities to allow you to snipe down the enemy commanders. And then what'll happen, unless he has people body blocking, is you'll want to save up 2 command points to then start summoning in your crisis suits, and you can summon that almost anywhere on the map that you have vision. So then you can start backcapping, and then they can be so far away from the action that they can use their missile pods to get additional kills, and then they're strong enough that any low tier infantry that decides they want to come and fight will really struggle to get enough kills. Even the filleted ones, which have pretty decent armor piercing, unless they get rear attacks, it usually takes 4 or 5 attacks for them to kill all 3 crisis suits, because they tend to miss some of the attacks unless they're buffed up. So I think that's kind of the most effective way of doing this. Like I said, it's kind of a cheeky play, and some of the newer players really struggle with it, but once you have kind of an intermediate to advanced player, they kind of know how those units work well enough that they can really counter you, because it's like, oh, I see what you're doing. Then they just want to close the distance on you and really focus on killing 1 unit at a time and taking out your HQ commander, so you're not able to start spamming those additional missile strikes or your crisis suits, and then just making sure you're not clumping up your units when the crisis suits are starting to jump at you to use the flame attacks, because you should get at least 2 units to reanimate every turn, and that just makes it so they have to waste all these different attacks to wipe out your squads, and then that you can use that to your advantage to hold strategic command points, and you can try to win by attrition that way. So it gets to be this weird balance action where you're kind of both waiting on some RNG to know, are you going to land some of these attacks that may not be guaranteed, and are you going to get a bunch of grazes with your flamer attacks or not? So you got to kind of see how it's going to go down. But definitely should be kind of, it would have been a little bit of a fun matchup. I think he had the right kind of build that he should have been able to beat me, so I'm a little surprised that he ended up just leaving the match after that turn, because yes, I would have taken out those 2 annihilation barges and start sniping down his Plasmamancer, but you know, because those crisis suits that jumped up were weakened, he easily would have been able to squad wipe the crisis suit with the Plasmamancer there, and then if he landed at least 1 attack on my commander, he probably would have taken out the commander on that left side, and then the right side I obviously had locked down, and I would have been shooting into him. But you know, it all depends on the RNG. Like if I would have missed those broadside attacks into his Plasmamancer, then he would be able to keep just running him down, getting a bunch of charge attacks, either dropping those orb nukes on me or doing other things. So he had the right kind of build to definitely counteract me. So a little disappointed he quit so fast, but I just wanted to bring back an old build and play around with it a little bit. So if you haven't seen some of my old videos, this was a build that I used to use. It's actually surprisingly effective against the Space Marines, because the 1 round of the broadside missiles followed up by a crisis suit missile will wipe out a sanguinary guard squad, assuming they're being buffed up by the commander. And then obviously all those 100% chance hits with the railguns allows you to snipe down sanguinary priests, any sort of elite tier armored units he has, such as dreadnoughts, his other HQ units, the librarian. So it just really allows you to mess them up. And then you're with all your flamers, because they usually do a heavy assault squad build, you can just go pure flamers and take everybody else out with your flame attacks. Now the Death Company can be a little bit challenging to kill because of their increased armor. It starts dramatically dropping the damage from the basic flamers, so it'll usually take at least 2 flamer attacks to kill 1 Death Company, but it tends to actually be pretty effective, especially if it's a real large map where you can just kite them all around. So with that, I'm going to sign off for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.